What profession or career field tends to attract the weirdest people? Fucking locksmith. Carnivals. Ever see a normal carny? In my experience, seasonal workers at state and national parks, lots of people that live transient, sometimes chaotic lives, people escaping situations whether familial or illegal, drug addicts mixed in with college kids that party too hard. It's an odd mix of people. Lots of stories. It's kind of kept secret of industry where you can get hired very quickly and take just about anyone, as it's mainly hospitality and the jobs are so temporary. ASL teaching abroad attracts a lot of weird folks. This may not register as traditionally weird, but career salespeople. A lot of them can't turn it off, and they come across as somewhat inauthentic in casual, non-business settings. Like you'll have a 45-minute conversation with them, really like them, but walk away from the conversation with no deeper understanding of their motivations or who they actually are as a person. Puppetry. My college had a school for puppetry and they were the strangest. Tattoo artists. A lot of strange god complexes. Truck drivers. I've had a lot of weird conversations with strangers on the road that just left me baffled. Wow, can't believe I'm the first to add HR. Source, I'm in HR. I dislike most people in my profession. It's not unlike what someone else said about cops, that only about 25 max of people do it for the right reasons. The rest have some sort of power trip going on, which is hilarious because we have so much less power than people believe. Lol. A room full of engineers, shutters, carnival workers. I love traveling carnies. Honestly, theater kids who turn into theater adults are on another level of weird, but like, in the best way. I had a friend in college who'd show up to study sessions in full costume just because she felt like being a Victorian ghost that day. Also, tech people can be pretty eccentric, especially when they start talking in programming memes no one else understands. But hey, weird makes the world interesting, right? Libraries. I love public libraries and adore the work they do. I also have never met a librarian that wasn't one of my favorite people on earth, while also being the most socially awkward introverted weirdo. A friend of mine is one, and I asked him why he loves it. His answer was basically, I don't have to do much work, I get to read all day, and the only people I have to talk to are asking me questions about books and movies. Hospitality, but in the best way. Honestly, I've only been creeped out by one professional, a robotic engineer who retired and builds sex toys for a side hustle. That man's mind was so dark and twisted that it chilled me to the bone. Clowning or taxidermy both have their oddball enthusiasts. Him an overnight ER nurse, and we're all insane. When I was a kid, there was this woman that would come to my church who was so insanely weird. She was in her mid to late 50s, soft-spoken and rarely said anything unprompted. I was friendly with her adult children but never spoke with her. She never missed church or social gatherings but was always quiet and generally unremarked upon. Looking back on it now, she clearly showed the signs of being on the spectrum, but I didn't have the knowledge or awareness of that at the time. I pretty soon found out that her job was one of those people who puts the makeup on dead bodies for open casket funerals. She spends multiple hours a day in a room alone, with no one for company, but the cold corpse she's working on, staring intently at the features of their face. It's funny how sometimes you become aware of jobs that you basically assume, well, somebody has to be out there doing that. But you just never expect to meet them. You have to be especially suited to do a job like that. Unpopular opinion. People in the IT field. Psychiatry. Lots of weird people, but in a totally wonderful way.